No one, and I mean no one, gets as many things wrong about evolution as much as this guy does.
With Dr. Kent, the Science Gent.
Yes, that is true, but this video is not about him today. His turn will come in the coming weeks, if I can be bothered. But, as Yoda once said, there is another.
Hey guys, this is Matt Powell.
Yes, this video is about backward simpleton Matt Powell official. Matt Powell has blocked me from his YouTube channel. I can make comments on his videos, but no one will see them. And I have proved this because I have left a comment on his on one of his videos. I've signed out of my YouTube account, gone back to the video in question and looked, and my comment is not there. He only interacts with people that agree with him. You know, he leaves little love hearts, all the rest of it, and all the way down for those that agree with him. For those that don't agree with him, especially myself, we get blocked or ignored. And I only asked him one question as he is doing a tour of sermons or what have you. He's doing some preaching, some live preaching. And I asked him, would Dr. Peel be joining him? And after that, I couldn't see my comments anywhere. But hey ho, that's no loss to me. But I'm not on this video to moan. I am here to put Mr. Powell right on a few things, especially this one, because he believes that people who have studied evolution their entire adult lives and, you know, gained scientific qualifications in evolution, had the papers peer reviewed, etc., etc., etc. Those people who know exactly what evolution does and explains and everything, those who have shown evidence for evolution, he believes that those people claim that we came from a rock. And I can't imagine where he got that idea from.
We're looking for one functioning brain cell in those who claim there's no God, and we all came from a dot of nothing, which turned into a rock, which turned into us. They do believe that.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Absolutely not one single person qualified in the field of evolution believes that we came from a rock. It is not in a single textbook anywhere. A single book on the theory of evolution does not say that we came from a rock. So please stop saying it, and then you'll stop Matt Powell official from saying it, because he is copying everything that you are doing. I'll bet you this year Matt Powell official will probably buy a diploma from an unaccredited diploma mill, just like Kent Irving did. So, with all that out of the way, let's get into Matt Powell official's video, because he is laughing at evolutionists that think we came from a rock, yet no evolutionists believe that anyway. So, let's have a look at this unimaginable dipsticks video. Life coming from a rock debunked. There's nothing to debunk because evolution does not say that we came from a rock. Matt Powell official. Okay.
Rare meteorite that fell on a UK driveway may contain ingredients for life.
May. Very, very important word, that. May.
It says the fireball that lit up the sky over the United Kingdom and Northern Europe on February 28th was an extremely rare type of meteorite. Fragments of the space rock discovered on the driveway of Cotswolds could provide an answer to the questions of the early history of the solar system and life on Earth.
Could. Another very, very important word that you seem to go through quickly, if you don't mind me saying so. It's the same as may, really. May and could. Very, very important words that you don't seem to emphasize. But I know you know, and you know that I know that you know.
So a rock falls from the sky and they say, there's the answer. It falls in somebody's driveway. Talk about lazy science.
No, Matt. No. Matt Powell official. No. There is only one person being lazy. Science isn't lazy. You are being lazy because you are claiming that it's... I've read that article several times, and nowhere in that article says there is the answer. There is, we know everything now just because this little meteorite fell to Earth in someone's driveway. No, you are wrong. It says in the article, may contain answers, could provide answers. It doesn't say there is the answer, does it? You lazy, dishonest piece of shit.
They always tell me, well, Matt, you're just making arguments from the 90s creationists. I love the 90s creationists, but this actually is from 2021, less than a month ago.
Well, that's not a creationist article. That's an article about an asteroid, about a meteorite that landed in someone's driveway. Nothing to do with creationists. How is it, right, that one person can get so many things wrong in just a 2-minute video? It's unbelievable.
Now, evolutionists all say, well, Matt, we don't believe we came from a rock. Isn't that kind of insinuating that you did?
No, it isn't. It's not insinuating anything. It's just saying may contain answers, could provide answers. That's all it is saying. It's not even insinuating that we came from a rock, because no evolution biologist ever believes this. No one has ever said it. Do you know who does believe that we came from a rock? Creationists. Creationists are the only demographic of people that believe that we came from a rock. Evolutionists don't.
Well, it contained the ingredients for life, and within that rock was liquid water. Okay. Great. You know what? There's a lot of things that contain ingredients for life. In fact, if I was to put a frog in a blender and blend it up, those are all the ingredients. But I don't expect the frog to assemble itself back together.
You said it, didn't you? You said it. Your love for 90s creationism is proven, because it was creationists in the 90s that put the frog in a blender and said that evolution teaches that if we put a frog in a blender, eventually it'll turn back into a frog again, and over millions and millions of years. And no, that's not what evolution teaches at all. Evolution is, the theory of evolution is descent with inherent genetic modification. That's it. Correct this error, please, Matt. Whoop, sorry, Matt Powell official. Please correct this error.
They say, well, you got to give it time. Just imagine. Okay, well, let's say I was to put a dot on the pulpit here, and we're going to go forward a few billion years. We're going to wait for it to explode, because there's no absolutes. I'm absolutely sure there's no absolutes, and anything could happen.
You're absolutely sure that there's no absolutes? So there are absolutes. Yeah, by all means, put a dot on that podium, and I will bet you over billions and billions of years, come back in a few billions of years' time, if there's no outside influences or what have you, the sun hasn't swallowed the earth and turned into a red or white dwarf, that nothing will happen to that dot. It won't. There's just too much stupid in the world, and most of it comes from flat earthers and creationists.
Folks, it's going to sit there and deteriorate. It's not going to explode. Professing themselves, it reminds me of a verse, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
Listen who's talking. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Yes, like Dr. Kent Hovind and Matt Powell official. They are professing themselves to be wise because they are trying to debunk evolution while not having any understanding whatsoever what evolution is. Even me, with my limited knowledge, knows more than what they do. And I can back what I say up with research. You can't back up anything you say with any scientific research whatsoever, because absolutely no science backs up any aspect of creation. Nothing. You're welcome to have your faith. Yes. It's absolutely fine by me. I don't care one little monkey's chuff, what you believe in. But preach that word. You're not going to debunk evolution by promoting creation. You can only debunk evolution by showing an alternative, proving an alternative, showing evidence of an alternative. Get your alternative, peer reviewed by actual scientists. Come up with a hypothesis. Say, well, how did this happen over here? I think, well, it's mentioned in the Bible. How do we set about showing evidence for it? How do we set about proving it? Come up with an experiment and then test it, and then test it again, and then get other people to test it with you. And there you go. You've got a scientifically approved piece of evidence for your beliefs. It's not that difficult. So preach God's word, spread God's word. That's absolutely fine. You don't make one thing true by debunking another. It's as simple as that. Many flat earthers, in fact, nearly all of them, say, well, this can't happen on the globe, that can't happen on the globe. They don't say, well, here is my evidence for a flat earth. They just say, well, the earth can't be a globe, therefore it's flat. It's the wrong sort of reasoning. So if evolution isn't true, it doesn't mean that creation is. So what I would ask you to do is, like I've said before, show evidence for creation. Don't debunk evolution because you can't, because no creationist has ever done that. So show some evidence for your side, instead of saying, well, this can't happen, this is ridiculous, this is preposterous, this is stupid, this is dumb, what have you. Show some evidence for your side of the argument, and then, like I said, get it scientifically studied, get it peer reviewed, and get it all, and get it all done official. Matt Powell official. So it's really that easy. There is one very, very good reason why you won't do this, and flat earthers won't do this either. Flat earthers won't show evidence for their side because they have none. Creationists won't do it for their side because they have no evidence. So what they do, flat earthers and creationists, is try and debunk the other side. But like I said before, you don't, just because if you debunk one side, it doesn't mean the other side is true. I could go out and debunk the Loch Ness Monster. It doesn't mean Bigfoot is true, does it? I could say that Martians don't exist, but aliens do. It's just crazy. It's stupid. So come on, put your ideas up, creationists, and give us some actual evidence for creation without, some scientific evidence, because we all know the Bible isn't a science book. So yeah, give us some evidence, please. Matt, this is my personal message to you. I hope it doesn't sound too condescending. I really don't mean to. I genuinely don't mean it to. But if you're going to debunk evolution, my first thought would be to pick a science review paper and then study it, and then test it, and then repeat it, and etc., etc. And that would be how I would do it. What I wouldn't do is go running to Dr. Kent Hovind for information, because I noticed you've tagged him and Aaron Wright in your little video there, but you seem to forget that Aaron Wright completely destroyed Kent Hovind in a debate on the Non Sequitur show. He utterly obliterated that man. He was asked a few times, Dr. Kent Hovind was asked several times to produce evidence or a citation where evolution says that we came from a rock. And you know what? Spoiler alert, he didn't. He failed on every single occasion. He went back to a textbook and said, well, the Earth formed about 4.5 billion years ago. And do you believe the Earth formed 4.5 billion years ago? That's not evolution. That's nowhere in the theory of evolution. That's planetary formation. Nowhere near evolution. So, if you're going to try and debunk evolution, I'd probably stay away from Dr. Kent Hovind if I were you. And stay away from blenders and frogs. Okay? Before I go, did you know that Matt Powell has a giant inflatable banana in his backyard that he calls Dr. Peel? So that is Matt Powell and his complete misunderstanding of evolution absolutely done and dusted. Yes, stay away from Dr. Kent Hovind because he is an idiot. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. If you like what I do, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to click bell notifications. And as we say in Bolton, toodle pip.